Hi, I'm Dr. Destiny Crider. I am the Museum Studies instructor at Luther College. I teach courses on Introduction to Museum Studies and Collections Management, and I also work as the Collections Manager, Lab Manager for the Anthropology Collections for Luther College. My first memory of the Porter House was when I first arrived. I arrived in Decorah 2 weeks before any of my things arrived, and I was going to be teaching museum studies, so I wanted to get a sense of the museums here in Decorah. And I walked over to the Porter House and just introduced myself and had a tour. And from that day forward, with the director there, we planned various internships and projects that students could work on while here at Luther College. So one of the things that has been really beneficial is the collaboration between our students and the museum. And so we have been, as part of my collections management course, every student is required to do not a full internship, but an experiential project that works closely with the museum. Almost every student that's taken on a project with the Porter House has gone on to either volunteer or done their full internship with the Porter House. Every single one of them has somehow fallen in love with the museum the same way I did the first week that I was there. So we try to do projects that are in need to be done to help with preservation and documentation that simply take a lot of time and focus, and the museum does not have a regular staff, so this is a good collaboration to give our students the experience to work with a real collection, contribute to a museum here in Decorah, and the museum gets some young people in the door to fall in love with the museum. So one student did her internship at the Porter House. She was given the task of going through the old tins and cigar boxes that still housed the folded up butterflies that Bert had collected. So they were going through and identifying the ones that were still good and opening them up and documenting those butterflies. She really enjoyed that particular one. It was a real detail-oriented task of having to handle those things very delicately. She went on to a Museum Studies graduate program and is now collections manager in California at a museum in Riverside. Bert Porter kept a large supply of scrapbooks, and the scrapbooks varied from his photographs and different collections of postcards or other memorabilia from just things he was interested in. And Emily came to us with this project because none of it had been documented or described. And so the student projects were to select a scrapbook, work their way through, provide catalog numbers for each object in the scrapbook, assess its preservation issues, and to come up with the best way to store them in the future, as well as describe them for future use and research. Some of the postcards were losing their glue and had come out of the scrapbooks, and when we took them off the pages, the ones that were falling out, we noticed that there was correspondence on the cards. And so we've organized the cards by different sets of who was involved in the correspondence. So this particular set from Bert to his wife Grace, they start in 1910 and they go through at least the 1940s, so that we can get a better idea of some of his travels and some of the conversation he was having with his wife while he was traveling. So this one is from the Buffalo Savings Bank in Buffalo, New York. Not a typical postcard I would collect. It's from a bank. And here he's telling Grace in 1911 from Buffalo, New York, all about his very details of his trip. Dear Grace, I arrived here okay this morning at 9:50 a.m. Shall call on my bug friend this afternoon, and tomorrow I shall visit the falls And Sunday, go to Williams Fort, arriving at 2:55 p.m. We'll write again, wish you were here with me. So he uses these postcards to let her know where he's going to be staying, what he's visiting, and it's really almost like a little itinerary of all of his trips. So we hope this is going to become a new resource to help understand some of his travels and some of his research. And this one is a little bit later, but this I think is one of my favorites. This is 1914, and he says he's in Hamilton, Missouri, and he says, "Dear Grace, please send me 2 boxes of the cigars if they've arrived. I'm having a good collecting trip and enjoying every day." So we know he enjoyed his cigars, and he would have them sent to him on his trips. And so we have not gone very far, so there's a lot more in terms of understanding Bert's travels from around 1910 through the 1940s.